going on, guys? Ethan here, as you guys might know as PGZ36. And this time I'm going to give you guys something different. I'm going to give you a review. And this review is actually going to be based off a movie I just saw last night, which is Godzilla vs. Kong. Now, this movie I just saw last night with a friend, and it was pretty spectacular. It's basically the fourth in the apparently was so-called the Monsterverse movies is what they call it. And this is the fourth one in the series. The others were Godzilla 2014, Kong Skull Island, and King of the Monsters Godzilla. Or Godzilla King of the Monsters, that's right. But today, I'm going to be going over this movie in a different way. Rather, instead of reviewing it, like, from beginning to the end, I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be going on, basically, of what was great. I'm basically putting it in three different ways. What I loved, what I hated, and what was okay/neutral. So basically, we're gonna go over it in those three ways. As a fan of Godzilla myself and Kong, this should be really exciting. Now, these three ways you're about to hear, this is all based off of my opinion. Your guys' opinion can be better than mine. So put a comment in the comment section what you guys think of this movie, and what is your favorite Godzilla movie or Kong movie. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Oh, and yes, if anyone's wondering, before I do get into this, I 100% admit, be aware, guys, there is 100% total spoilers in this. There's 100% spoiler alert in this review. Right here. Spoiler alert. Be aware. So if you haven't seen this movie at all, do not watch this movie. Do not watch this until you've seen the movie. Then come after here and check it out. But until then, I definitely 100% agree you should and recommend you watch the movie first. Because the movie has a lot of stuff in it that you should check out. So let's get into it. Let's start off the review of Godzilla vs. Kong. So starting off is the first love. So what I loved about this movie was the first love, because there's 4 parts in this. I'm doing this in 4 parts. There's gonna be 1 part, 2 part, 3, and 4 part. And they're all love, neutral, okay, and then hate. But yeah, we're starting off with the first one. So, the first thing that I loved about this movie was the characters. Now, the characters in the Godzilla series, they've been known to be either boring or bad or just plain just really, really forgetful. But this one actually had a much better much better lovable characters. The ones that I say are my personal favorite are the Russells, like Maddie Russell, Ryan, I don't remember his name, but basically the dad. I really enjoyed him. Also loved the child, Gia. The one who communicated with Kong. I thought she was perfect with this movie. Especially the way she communicated with Kong, like on the boat scene, where she does like the sign language to him, and Kong somehow communicates back to him. I thought that was beautiful. And especially her mom too. The fact they both can... what am I trying to say? The fact that Kong is able to tell from Gia what she says and what he can communicate. Well, not what she says, what she can communicate and what he can communicate to is just fabulous. I also really like the other characters too. There was the who else was there? There was like the guy who was trying to get to to the Hollow Earth, I really think I thought he was good. He was a little bit quirky at sometimes, but I think he really fit good. Also like the fat kid and the crazy guy, the theory guy who talked about Godzilla and other stuff. I thought those two were hilarious. Especially a part in the movie where he does a jump scare. That was probably the most where he basically like screams. That was basically the most funniest part in the movie. I remember seeing that and just the whole whole movie thing just the whole audience just burst into laugh. Oh, that was so funny. But yeah, pretty much the highest part of the movie, highest part of the movie was definitely the characters. I really do like the characters, and they do fit in this movie. And they're the first ones in the love list. So, next up, what was okay? So, what was okay and neutral about it was the music. Now, the music was pretty okay and neutral. Now, I'll admit, the music in this one was really good, but just most of the soundtracks just felt like really, really bland and just more forgetful. I thought that the monster musics were really good, like the Kong music, Godzilla, and the Kong Skull Island, and the monster fights was pretty good. But other than that, I just didn't really enjoy all the music that well. Especially the Hollow music, the Hollow Earth music. I think that one was more of a was good, but I don't think it's one that I would really remember much because it just didn't sound so. It just wasn't really the best music, and that goes along with the other ones too. And overall, I just gotta say that the music it wasn't really. Overall, the music could have been better, but unfortunately it wasn't, and that's my neutral. That's my neutral okay part about it. You guys might be mad about that, but I'm just going by for what I think was neutral and okay. And the first one was about neutral and okay was the music. Now, moving on to the first what I hate. It's gonna be a shock to all of you probably, but it's the villains. Now, you might think the villains were actually pretty good in this one, but me, I just found the villains just to be just stupid. Like, why are these guys like the villains? They don't really like fit like in this movie like at all. Like, you got the leader. I don't really remember his name because, well, I literally just saw it the first time the other day, so I don't really remember his name that much, like at all. But I'm gonna have to watch it again. So, but yeah, the leader. I just thought he was just arrogant, and just every line out of his mouth was just simply just dumb to me. I don't know why that. I don't know why he says the things that make him sound dumb, but to me, I just think he just sounds dumb. And the other villain was the son of Sarasawa, who sacrificed himself in the King of the Monsters Godzilla to save Godzilla. But in this one, they make him think that Godzilla's the one who killed his father, and they make him turn against him. Like, why? What is the point of that? Like, this is the son of the guy who saved Godzilla. He should be with the good side, not on the bad side. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like why is he trying to get rid of Godzilla? Why isn't he trying to help him? I don't know. I don't like this guy. I don't like him. He just doesn't fit as a bad guy, and the other one doesn't fit in this movie. Just the villains they're just not good at all, and they're the first worst ones on the list. Okay, so now we're on to the second love-hate neutral list. So the second thing that I loved about this movie was just the main excitement aside from the fight scenes was the Hollow Earth. I generally thought that was an excellent thing to bring into this series. Like the fact that Kong has to travel halfway across the no all the way across the world to get you don't actually see him get across the world. He eventually gets transported by planes to Antarctica to go through a hole that apparently leads to a portal to the Hollow Earth. And when that happens, when he gets to the Hollow Earth, it's just beautiful. I just love the scenery. It really looked like an ancient area with a bunch of monsters roaming around and everything. Also really love that he fights two like flying beast. He just goes at him, just hammers the crap out of them. And especially the gross part was when not Godzilla but when Kong slurps up some of the monster's head. That was really gross. I love that it goes. Another favorite part in that was the gravity scene, cause like it's like I don't know, it's like split in the middle, cause like I don't know what it is, but like when he goes up to the top, and it looks like it's like a mountain, but he pushes a rock and it somehow flips the gravity upside down, like when he jumps up, he goes up, but then he turns around and lands right back down on his feet. Like I just thought that was extremely mind-blowing. Like how does that happen? That doesn't really make any sense. Especially on Earth where usually be gravity is very logic. I guess not in this movie, I guess. The other thing I like was when he gets to the castle. That one, or the throne room. That was really cool. And the throne room itself was really nice in scenery. It had a bunch of guards and even shows where King Kong ruled that area, and even had a battle axe which Kong uses to fight Godzilla in later on in the movie. I thought that was spectacular. And it was just a great welcome to this movie. I really enjoyed all of it. It was really great. It's the second love in the list. So the second thing that was okay in the movie was the destruction. Now, the destruction in the Godzilla movies was something that was desperately needed, especially with Godzilla. Godzilla is known for destroying buildings and rampaging through cities and stuff. And this one, we actually see him do it. The problem is, we do see him do it, and he just goes around and just like does it the way he's supposed to do it. Like he takes out military, he just obliterates buildings, destroys like towns. Well, not really towns, more like bases. And it's just really cool. I thought this was going to be a great rampage through a city. But unfortunately, no. It just cuts like a few minutes after that. Like I think it's like you see like 3 or 4 minutes of him doing rampage, or 5 minutes of him doing rampage, and then it just cuts away from him. Like, come on, we want to see this guy. We want to see this guy do his rampage. We want to see him destroy buildings. We want to see him just demolish things. Why can't they give it to that? And yes, they did it. They did it with Hong Kong too. He did go around and destroy more buildings in Hong Kong, and I thought that was really awesome too. But again, it was limited because they did it for like a few minutes. And then it shows us where he did the atomic breath down to where Kong was, and then Kong comes out of the hole, and the two fight. So that was unfortunate for me. And also, that more buildings did get destroyed during the fight scenes, unlike King of the Monsters, where you see like one building get destroyed, and that's when Godzilla smashes Ghidorah into the building through the building. I thought that was cool. But this one had more destruction with the monsters. That I find was much more better than the other ones. But again, it just wasn't enough. Like, a Godzilla movie should have a part where they fight the monsters, have the people scenes, have the daytime fight scenes, and have the destruction scenes where Godzilla does his rampage. That's the one thing that was missing. And this one did answer that, but it wasn't enough. We just needed more destruction from Godzilla. And that would have been totally even better. But without it, I can't really make that any more lovable than it already is. So yeah, that's the second part that was neutral about it. So now onto the second hate. Onto the second hate in the movie. Yeah, sorry. Ugh, I'm not really the best at this. This is the first review of a movie, so yeah. So the second hate in the series, no, not in the series, in the movie, was the portal scene, or the portal matrix scene. The biggest problem with that scene is just something that was just too similar to other movies. Like, you go through it and it starts to get fast, and it goes through it goes fast, but then it goes through a portal, and it just like light speeds like to a portal. And I admit the way the characters reacted was really funny. They were like, ah! But the problem with that part was it's just too reminiscent. It's just too similar to something that we've already seen, like in Star Wars. They do a light speed thing. Star Trek, they have a light speed thing. There's just so many movies that have something that's similar to that scene. Like, I just wish it had something that was more different than something that is similar to what you see in other movies. And yeah, some of you might disagree with that, but for me, I just did not like that. It was just similar to something that I've already seen in other movies. I just didn't. And this is second hate. Alright, now we're on to the third love-hate neutral. So, what was the third thing that I loved about this? And this is a huge spoiler right here. Yeah, like I said, go watch the movie and then come back to here. But yeah, this is a huge spoiler, and the third thing that I loved about this movie was Mechagodzilla. I know, like that's mind-blowing. Because during the trailer of this movie, it just centered around like Godzilla and Kong. Nothing else. But it did leave a few screenshots of something else that didn't look like them at all. And in the later trailers, it reveals something else in it too. And when the final movie came, it's just a surprise to see Mechagodzilla in this. And he is just bad ass. Oh, this guy was awesome in this movie. For the first Mechagodzilla not created by Toho, created by Legendary Pictures, I thought he was really cool. Especially with his hands, they had like a turning like ability, and I thought that was really cool. And his face was really cool though. I wish his head was a little less flat, and I wish it was more like a scary robotic head, but his face was still scary. Also, the head was basically built off, well, it wasn't built off of, but the Mechagodzilla was made from wasn't built off the frame, but it was built from the skeleton head of Ghidorah. Now, that was just confusing me. I don't know why, but I didn't really care. either way, Mechagodzilla is just a complete monster. Now this is a guy that always brings a party down in the Godzilla movies, and here he definitely proves that. And it's also the first time in a long time where we actually see Mechagodzilla as the villain. Like one other time in the Godzilla series, you see him twice as a villain, and then the rest of the time it's just he's a hero to stop Godzilla. But now we actually see him fight as a bad guy again, and he even obliterates both the villains. That I thought was awesome. And eventually, when he fights Kong and Godzilla, that was just perfect for the final fight. Also, really like Mechagodzilla's move range. He has like his grappling hands that can do some serious damage and move pretty well. He's got like rockets all over his like shoulders and his back. So he can shoot in any directions. He's got apparently I guess like a atomic smasher, because in some scenes when he's fighting you'll see like his hand glow like an atomic ball, and he just slams it into Godzilla and Kong. I thought that was basically like the replacement for the finger missiles, which unfortunately weren't in the movie, but I thought that was really made up well for it. And he did fly a bit, but it wasn't like he was like soaring through the sky. But he still flew, and I thought that was pretty cool. And I did love the atomic beam, where he used the and he just shot the atomic blast at Godzilla and Kong. Unfortunately, they don't have the laser eyes in this. I think that's something they could have put in, but I don't know why. But it was still a pretty good welcome to a character that is definitely welcome into the series. So yeah, definitely love Mechagodzilla. He's a force definitely to be reckoned with, and he's the third love in the review. So the third thing that was okay about this movie was the battle at sea. I know probably a lot of you like mouths just drop like, what? Oh my gosh, how could this be like a neutral, not like a lovable one? And again, the main problem is that they fight out in the sea. Yes, it's during the day and I can see everything, but I just wish they would fight on land, because in the other Godzilla movies, he would either like fight in the water or like in like water rain areas. It just drives me nuts. Like, why can't we have just a normal fight with Godzilla and another monster where it's not out in the sea? Especially when they fight on the water. I didn't really think that was too I didn't really think that was the best way to put it, but I still thought that was really good as well. Other than those two problems, this fight was absolutely great. I really did like it, and these two are the only reasons why I make it neutral. So the third thing that I hate about this movie was the Apex cybernetics. Again, this is just another thing that has been seen in other movies, or it's just to remind us of other movies. Remind us. I don't even know why I said that, but it's just another thing that reminds me of why we shouldn't do this, because it's basically another thing where humans go and create like machines like to defend us or something. Like, have any of these characters like or movie actors have seen any other like cybernetic movies? They usually end up with us destroying humanity, being humanity's ultimate destruction. Like Terminator, that one had like war of machines. Pacific Rim, that was another one where it had a few scenes where it was like battle with machines. So I thought that was not a good reason. And overall, I just didn't really like find Apex Cybernetics to be really really fitful. Like, it was just, again, like, another thing that belongs with the military. Like, I'm tired of seeing this stuff. I want to see something that's not related to that. Like, give us something that is something that's completely different, or something that's similar but make it more better than that one. I don't know. I just hated the Apex cybernetics, especially because it leads to the main villain, the main bad guy in the movie. I almost keep saying series. I don't know what my problem is, but it keeps leading up. But it led up to being a bad guy in the movie, which was Godzilla. So yeah, cybernetics, not usually a good thing, and yeah, I don't like it, and it's the third thing that I hate. Alright guys, we're almost done with this review. We have one more, the fourth and final love, hate, and neutral thing. But instead, this one, we're going to do different. We're going to do it neutral, then bad and good, and basically hate and then love. Because you always start with the neutral and then always end on the love note. So let's finish this off. What was okay? The opening credits. Yeah. Not really a fan. No, I'm not a fan of that, really. Like, I thought it was cool for an opening credits, but there was some parts of it where you see things going by so fast, and then and then the music, like, blares, and you're just like, what is even going on? Like, that's stuff I don't think most people will enjoy. That's something I just don't think people will like that very much. Some people will rather prefer it more like less loud, but more like about these monsters and stuff. Especially where the part where it shows like Rodan and the other Titans killed off. Like, what? How did they get killed? Like, in the end of King of the Monsters, you obviously see them alive. So how did they all get killed? Aside from Ghidorah and Mothra, because they both did die, and the Mutos as well. So how did they die? I don't know, but I didn't really like that at all. And combine that with just the what is going on scenes, it just really made like a disappointing scene for me. But then, a good thing it built up at the end of the opening credits, and then moved on to the rest of the movie, and it was really good. So, yeah, the opening credits. Just wish it wasn't less serious, more serious, but not too serious. And it's the last thing that's neutral. Okay, so what is the last thing that I hate about this movie? Simple. No post credits? Like, there's literally nothing at the end. Like, that's just it. It just shows like the logos, and that's it. There's nothing else. Yes, I understand that this one was apparently the last one planned. I don't know if the series is going to continue or not, but like, really? You're gonna give us nothing? Like, not even like a picture of something? Like, nothing. Just straight up nothing. I think this would fit perfect in like the other ones, like in King of the Monsters. That replaced with the end credits in that one. In this one, I thought that, but it was something different. I thought that would be really cool. And there are a lot of other Godzilla movies that do that, and I hate it when that happens. I'm not necessarily gonna say them because I don't want to say them because they're not bad, but just I wish they had the end credits in it. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like, where's the end credits? Like, there's no end credits. It's very angry and disappointing, and it's the last thing that I hate in this movie. Really put some end credits, guys. And yes, finally, here we are, the best of the best, the last thing that I absolutely love in this movie, in Godzilla vs. Kong, was the monster fights. Holy cow. The monster fights are definitely the highlight of the movie. Definitely, most definitely awesome. Very fightful. Very cinematic. Just, oh, they're just so good. Especially one in Hong Kong where Godzilla fights Kong. Like, you see them go at each other, and then Kong uses the axe to, like, do some damage on Godzilla. And especially I like the scene where Godzilla tries to do the atomic fire on him, and it just hits the axe, and then Kong goes wham on Godzilla. That was just boom, mind-blowing. That was just awesome. I really enjoyed that. And it just, Godzilla just like shakes it off. Like, doesn't even like care if that hit him. And apparently so, because he just wrecks Kong after that. He even stomps on his chest and gives him a cardiac arrest. Literally, like he stomps on his chest and just roars into his face, and Kong roars back, and the two roar it into a very, probably the best shot in the movie is where they're both roaring at each other. That's just perfect. That is a perfect picture to an end of two legends in a fight. And this time we actually did get to see Godzilla win, and it doesn't really technically count for the full movie, I think, because at the end they do fight Mechagodzilla, but it was still a good fight. And of course, the battle with Mechagodzilla was just the best of the movie of the American Godzilla films. Now, this one was completely fresh because in the last time he fought as a villain, he appeared to be more, well, robotic. This one, he didn't give no craps given. He literally goes to town on these two monsters. Literally beats the crap out of Godzilla and Kong. They would have lost too if Godzilla had not given Kong's axe just an atomic charge to it, in which Kong uses and just completely obliterates Mechagodzilla. Literally just cuts him off to pieces and just literally rips his head off. A good reference to the other two movies where he's as a villain, especially with the spine dingling. I really like that too. Reminded me much of Mortal Kombat, and especially with the new Mortal Kombat movie coming out soon. I'm gonna get ready for that. That should be cool. But yeah, the Mechagodzilla vs. Kong fight and the Godzilla vs. Kong and Godzilla, and the Godzilla vs. Kong fights, all the monster fight scenes, they're the best. They're the highlights of this movie, and that's basically how I put an end to this. If you want to see one part of this movie that's just completely worth it, just do the monster fight scenes. It'll absolutely leave you satisfied. And that's it. That brings it to the end of this review. It comes in at the best of the best. It's the last thing that I love in the series. Why do I keep saying series? The movie. Definitely the highlight. The fight scenes. They were great.